Hi, Omega Chaos here again with another video, and this time I'm going to be discussing the new Yu-Gi-Oh rules for the Vrine's era and the new summoning mechanic, a Link Summon. So yeah, it's actually pretty exciting. There are a lot of changes, probably biggest changes Yu-Gi-Oh has ever seen. So yes, let's see. So first, of course, the new monsters, Link monsters. They're of course in the extra deck, but they have no level, no defense, and they have special Link markers pointing to 8 directions, and they are, of course, instead of defense they have like a special numbers. This one has link 3. So yeah, definitely pretty interesting. Definitely something we haven't seen before. And of course they have some of the requirements like Synchros or Axis monsters, definitely pretty similar to those mechanics. So yeah, and I will of course explain link markers further when we, in this video. Then there are new extra deck monster zones, so 2 new zones, one for each player, but the first one who summons the extra deck monster gets to pick which one, and then the other becomes part of the other player's field. And the previous 5 monster zones we have had for, of course, for the whole time are now called the main monster zone. So you can't summon extra deck monsters to these zones anymore without having, of course, Link monsters. Then there are some changes to Pendulums as well. Pendulum zones are now in the spell and trap zone, but they only become Pendulum zones when Pendulum cards are activated in them. Otherwise you can just use them as regular spell and trap zones. So yeah, so I think it's pretty decent change. So always had a problem that I didn't know like how to put them in the Pendulum zone when I'm just doing regular duels in real life, without having a playmat with zones. Because always, of course, with Pendulum zone you always like took a lot more space, so that was pretty annoying sometimes. But now it's now a lot better in terms of that. Of course, it nerfs Pendulums quite a bit. If you use Pendulums, you can really only have 3 spell trap zones, but that's mostly fine anyway. Then there is a huge change for extra deck monsters. Like I mentioned before, extra deck monsters cannot be summoned to main monster zones without link markers pointing to them. So the link markers, of course, are pointing to some zones, and then you can summon extra deck monsters to those zones the link markers are pointing to. Or of course, the critical top, like for example, points to the 2 bottom as lower zones, left and right, and then of course you can summon extra monsters to them, and and also link monsters effects also interact with those monsters as well. And the change also includes Pendulum, so which means if you summon out Pendulums from the extra deck, you can only summon them to the extra monster zone if you don't have, of course, link monsters pointing to their zone. So yeah, that kind of nerfs Pendulums a lot. Not sure if I can call them dead, but they are significantly reduced in power, because of course I do like it quite a lot, because of course Pendulums very kinda overpowered mechanic I didn't mind it really that much, but it kind of got out of hand pretty quickly, unfortunately. Of course, I have this image of Anima Supreme King Trion Sark, of course, because it kind of represents all the previous summon mechanics. Then other facts about the new rules: you can summon extra monsters to the main monster zone if they are summoned outside of the extra. For example, if you summon them from the graveyard, actually you have to summon them to the main monster zone in that case. But extra monsters is summoned improperly via some sort of an effect still have to be summoned to the extra monster zone. So for example, if you want to summon Ultimaya, you have to summon it to the extra monster zone, but then without the Link monster you can't even use its effect, because the monster you want to summon still has to be summoned to the extra monster zone. So that is pretty bad for those cards, I guess. And for example, of course, Palmut Shark totally awesome combo is not possible anymore either without, of course, using the Link monsters. Of course, now we go at the positive of new rules. They definitely slow down the game significantly. Like, you can't really spam out a bunch of extra leg monsters in one turn anymore, and also you can't abuse the pendulum mechanic as much as well. It also stops power creep, at least for now. Of course, we have had a huge problem that everything just became a lot more broken and it didn't seem to stop. But now, thanks to these changes, it is going to stop until it, of course, goes up again. But I guess we have to say. And unbreakable boards become a lot harder to make. Of course, without being able to summon out multiple extra monsters, you can't really make like fields of like Crystalling and Siegfried, for example, in Kilis, or in, like, for example, in the past, like in performable legs. And also card zone placement becomes a lot more important. So thanks to, of course, Link monsters, of course, you summon your Link monster to the exact monster zone, and then you have to, of course, be very careful where you place your monsters then. And also non-extra deck relevant decks get a lot stronger. For example, Prophecy or Dark Word, of course Cosmo, and especially Infernoid if it doesn't get nerfed. So that's also pretty positive as well. But now we go over some negatives of the new rules. It unfortunately kills a lot of decks. For example, DD, because DD is pretty much focused around summoning out multiple X-like monsters. And also Synchrons, because Axel Synchro is not possible anymore without using Link Summon, which really sucks, because I really love Axel Synchroing, but oh well, you have to sacrifice some things to achieve some sort of game balance. But unfortunately, Link Summoning might still get broken in the future. Right now, the Link monsters we have gotten revealed are kinda mediocre, but in the future I'm sure we'll get some really good and possibly even broken Link monsters for sure. And also these new rules and Link Summoning might turn off new players, because it's pretty complicated, unfortunately, but it also might turn off old players as well, because players have been used to the current rules and and being able to summon out your multiple extra monsters, and this change definitely changes a lot. So, but what I personally think about these changes, I pretty much completely love them, because I had a serious problem with the speed of this game, that pretty much games ended like in 1 or 2 turns most of the time. I summoned out Unbreakable Field first turn, or you just auto-K your opponent in the second turn. So that became a serious problem, but now thankfully I think this definitely makes this a lot less of a problem. So I hope you enjoyed this discussion of Link summoning and the new rules. Might have missed some things, but oh well. I'm pretty excited about the new anime range. I'm not sure how to pronounce the new anime's name, title. It's I guess VR Reigns or Reigns, I think it's pronounced in Japan, so I guess we have to see. So I hope you enjoyed this video. For now, goodbye and omeakis out.